who died believing themselves a failure, but was judged otherwise by history. Kotoku Uemura was the mayor of Fudai village. He built a huge and expensive tsunami defense wall/gate system. In 2011, when the Tohoku earthquake and tsunami hit, Fudai was saved. But Wakura had died in 1997, never knowing how many were saved by his flood defenses. Stieg Larsson, author of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. He died suddenly before the books were published. Never saw them explode globally. Never saw the movies. Never saw the hundreds of millions of copies sold. He died thinking he was a journalist with a side project. Ignaz Semmelweis came up with the brilliant idea that doctors should wash their hands before seeing patients, particularly before seeing women in labor. He figured this out pre-germ theory and was basically shunned and mocked by the medical community. He had a mental breakdown and ended up dying in an asylum from an infection after being beaten by the guards. Ludwig Boltzmann, theoretical physicist who laid the foundation for statistical mechanics, which is considered fundamental physics today, spent most of his life defending his theories, which were derided by his peers. He offed himself before his work became generally accepted by the community, and today is part of every undergrad physics course. His equation defining entropy is engraved on his tombstone. Vincent van Gogh is a classic example. He thought he'd failed his whole life, sold almost no paintings, and struggled with mental health. Today he's celebrated as one of the greatest painters in history, which is wild when you think about it. But he was a perfectionist and refused to exhibit his works. His brother had an exhibit and begged him to showcase his work, but he was never ready. In a way, he was his own worst enemy.